This is part 2 of our Colorado Springs to Plainview and Canyon, Texas. And this is our way back. Basically, I've stayed here for a couple days. We kind of drove around here, but today is going to be really, really exciting because I'm going to drive back and only stop one time for charging because I'm here at my hotel and I actually charged it all the way up to 100%. So this is going to be exciting. Actually, I don't really know. We got 200. So our first stop is going to be 245 miles here. We're going to go directly from here all the way up to Trinidad. If you see here, basically on the dash, it's showing that it says 321 available miles. But again, like we talked before, that's only a guessometer. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys what it's like doing winter driving and the range and everything. So far on the trip, we've only had like 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So hopefully that increases on this, because math will tell you that won't work going all the way up 240 miles. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm actually going to reduce the speed. I'll probably go about 65 instead of 70. So that's going to help me out a little bit. I may even go 60 if I need to. So anyways, this is going to be fun. I don't know why I'm doing this. Anyways, it's just that it'll save me about 2 hours instead of going around the other way. But I'm pretty confident that it's going to work. So let's do this. Let's see how it goes. I'll be giving you some updates along the way. And also, I'm going to show you, I'm still going to stop if I need to stop to go to the bathroom, need to stop to eat or something like that. So I'm not just going to drive straight. So I'll check in with you as we get going here. So this is exciting. So first little check-in here. I think we're doing good. We got 41 miles and we've only done 10% of the battery. Like I said, I'll be going about 65, maybe 60 if needed, but it looks like we're doing pretty good. This trip is averaging 2.3 miles per kilowatt. Now, if you notice, it's 67 degrees, so it warmed up a little bit. So the batteries seem to be a little bit happier today. So I think that it's going to get us a little bit more range because of the temperature. So doing another check-in here. As you can tell, I'm still going 65, but it has dropped down to 2 miles per kilowatt hour. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I'm not getting as good of range. I'm now at 75% on the battery. We've gone 76.4 miles, and we have 167 miles to go. So, and our guessometer says we have 210. So supposedly it's not going to be close, but because it dropped down from 2.2 or 2.3 to 2.0, yeah, we'll see. I don't know how this is going to go. Now we stopped for just a minute, probably about 10 minutes, because I had to go to the bathroom. And we also had to work on something with our GoPro. Hey, GoPro. Anyways, yeah, we're getting back on the road. We actually have here, let me show you. You have about 94 miles that we've gone, and then we still have 149 miles to go. So I'm leaving the truck on if I stop. That way the timer still keeps running on the trip thing. So we got our GoPro thing worked out, and now we are back on the road. Let's go. Let me show you this. It's telling you keep your hands on the steering wheel. Man, my hand has been on the steering wheel. I go squeeze every bit of it. It finally goes away. It's kind of annoying, actually. All right, anyways, we're checking in. It is 50% now on the battery. We've gone 134 miles. This is saying we have 108 more miles to go to our destination. So, and it did drop down to 1.9. If you didn't notice that. So if it gets any lower, I'm gonna have to, it kind of keeps going down a little bit. If it gets any lower, I'm gonna have to drop it down to 60 miles an hour. So hopefully not, we'll see. Yeah, I'll just keep you updated. This is gonna be close. Got me some Dr. Pepper out of the cooler. This train over here, all these train cars have been there since like before I moved up to Colorado. So I used to drive by here and just wonder how long are they actually going to leave these here. But these have seriously been here more than 17 years. They're just left to rot, I guess. I don't really know why, but I think it's kind of interesting. There's no locomotives attached to it. It's just several dozen train cars just sitting here. Who knows? Probably homeless people live there by now. Alright, I must have hit some kind of headwind or something, because my range is still saying 1.9, which should be okay, but I just had to drop it to 55 because it is saying 88 miles. And okay, I'm watching the road. I gotta go 88 miles, and this is saying I only have 86 miles of range, 40% of the battery remaining. So this is actually gonna be really tight. I don't usually trust that range meter, but when it starts going below the distance that I need to travel, then I kind of get a little concerned. So we'll see how this goes. All right, guys, we just hit 25%, still at 1.9. Got 191 miles so far that we've gone, and we still have to go 51 more miles. So this is gonna be interesting. I've actually dropped it down to 50 miles an hour. So hopefully that'll save us enough to get where we need to go, but this is going to be close. This is now this says 52 miles of range, so it has started saving me a little bit, and we need to go 51 more miles. So all right. All right, this is pretty crazy. Range anxiety, man, it is real. All right, so we are at 20%. I'm beginning to think I shouldn't have gone this way now. We're at 20%, and we have 37 more miles to go. And it's saying that we should get 42 miles. So basically we should get there with 5 miles of range left. I'm going 50 miles an hour. We're trying to help out the range here a little bit. So you have to factor in lots of different things. And we've been going up in elevation because we're going from Texas to New Mexico, and then gonna go up in Colorado, up to Colorado. So we'll see how this goes. This is crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, just got here. I love Blue Cruise. I just got here on 25 going north. I got 15% remaining on the battery. It says 33 miles and I got 18 miles to go. So it may not sound as stressful, but I'm about to go into Raton Pass here and it really cuts down on the range. So I'm still going 50, trying to help it out a little bit. This is a little bit crazy. So I don't know why I did this. I guess I just did it just to see what's possible. So, all right. We'll see you when I get there, or if I do. All right, it just gave me the warning, drive range low, get to a charger. It'll go yellow. And as you can tell, we're kind of going uphill now. So it's gonna start eating into the range. I'm sure that those miles are gonna start dropping here pretty quickly. But all we need to do is make it 16 miles. So right now it's saying 28. So we'll see how this goes. Don't try this at home. I don't know why it's cracking me up, but it is. Woohoo! Right there is one of the hills coming up. Watch the road. I am watching the road. What do you think I'm doing? So we'll see how this range does. But yeah, this is the big hill. Woohoo! There it goes. It's dropping it. 12%, 26 miles. Got only 14 miles to go. So as you can tell here, we've been kind of going downhill quite a bit. And I went ahead and sped it up to 55 because it's saying I still have 11% on the battery. So that's a good thing, because we went uphill and it didn't use as much as I thought it would. And now we've just been going downhill. So it's just been charging it quite a bit. 22 miles of range supposedly. And we still have 7.5 miles to get to the charger. So I'm stressing out a little bit less now. But when you're going, you know, every area, every state's different. Every country is, you know, you have different areas. So it's not just the cold that impacts the battery. It's going up in elevation, down in elevation. In this case, we're going from Texas to New Mexico to Colorado, and so it's kind of going up in elevation, and then, you know, having to go over these passes here. And so anyways, yeah, thanks for going on this adventure with me. So we'll see. I've still got another 6 miles to go, so it looks like it's gonna make it because I got 10% of the battery left. So yay. All right, guys, we made it. We made it to Trinidad. Got to put myself through a little bit. Shouldn't have been stressed at all. I guess it's just one of those things where you definitely just need to, if you think you're not going to make it, you definitely just reduce your speed. Don't try to get somewhere quicker. So I reduced my speed for probably about 50 miles. I was only going 50 miles an hour, something like that. So that actually helped a little bit. So let me show you what we ended up with here. So we actually still have 11% on the battery, which actually is not bad at all to get here to Electrify America. So what that means is that we could have gone probably about 260. So that actual estimate of 260 miles, which is the reason why I thought I was going to be okay. 242 doing 260, but when I saw the range dropping because of wind and going up in elevation, it kind of got me a little concerned a little bit there. But thanks for going on this adventure with me. We're going to charge it up now. And oh, something else I wanted to point out here. If you notice right here, it goes down to 80% acceleration whenever you get lower range. And so also, I wanted to point out the temperature is at 61, which you may not think is that cold, but really, with the batteries on the truck, at least in my experience, if it's anywhere below 70 degrees, 70 is probably optimal for the battery. So if anywhere below 70 degrees, it starts kind of thinking that it's still a little cold. So anyways, yeah, thanks for going on the adventure. We're going to continue back up to Colorado Springs. We'll get this charged now. So since I went straight here to Electrify America, I just went into Walmart, just got back out here, got me a couple of Lunchables. Yeah, I'm still a kid. So just got a couple of Lunchables, Dr. Pepper out of my cooler, and I'm just gonna eat while it's finishing charging, and I'm gonna be on my way. I'm gonna let it charge up probably to 80%. That way I don't have to worry about it. I really only have to have about 60 something, so it's at 68% right now, but I'll let it get up to about 80 while I eat. So some of you have wondered how long it actually takes to charge from 10% to 80%, and I wasn't at 10, I was at 11. That's pretty close. And so I'm going to show you right now how much that cost, how long it took, and yeah, and then we're going to get back on the road. So I was at 11% when I got here, so it's going to be pretty close to about the same amount. So I'm going to show you and also watch how much it drops down on the charging speed. It's at 123 right now, and it'll drop down quite a bit as soon as it hits 80. Look at that. Boom. All the way down to 60. So what's the total? So the total is 42 minutes, $33, and is 92 kilowatts of energy delivered. So we got all charged up, and now we're back on the road to Colorado Springs. Thank you, Trinidad. Very hospitable. So anyways, we are now also, I wanted to point out, I'm going to go ahead and for the 120 miles or so here that we're going to be going up to Colorado Springs, I'm going to go ahead and go 75. I know normally I only go 70 for these tests, but in order to compensate for me going slower on 60, 65, and even 50 for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and go 75 the rest of the way to kind of put it in, kind of average it out a little bit with the range. So well, guys, we made it back. I'm here at Chick-fil-A. Woohoo! Yeah. That's good stuff. Anyways, we had a great time on this trip, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now what the numbers are for all of you math numbers people. What did it end up costing me? So the total miles on the trip, you can see, I'll pop this up on the dash, show you the little dash picture, is 1,039.4 miles. Is my overall trip miles per kilowatt hour was 1.8. So it did, I thought it was going to get more, but overall 1.8, we'll have to go with that. And then the other thing to consider is these are the new tires, and so these are the all-terrain tires, and I was going on average about 70 miles an hour. Now on the way back, I did, go lower, but then I compensated that by going 75 all the way from Trinidad to Colorado Springs, so about 120 miles. So it did reduce it back down a little bit. And the total charging cost was $168.26, but it should have been $136.43. I would have been able to cut off one of those charges if I would have done it right. And so it ended up costing me a total equivalent, the same thing as going down there, is 16 cents per mile, which basically is the same thing. It's similar to if you would have gotten about a little bit less than 22 miles per gallon if gas costs $3.50. What it should have been is the equivalent of 26.9 miles per gallon. And some of you are like, man, what does that even matter? Well, I like to compare because I like to see, is it actually cheaper or more expensive to drive on a trip? And so the way to do it is what I did coming back, is that you plan out your charging. You may be stretching it out a little bit more, but you plan out your charging. Stop at least at, maybe every 200 miles. The way to do it is just to plan out hotels that have charging and get as much extra charge that you can. And then you can go even further because you can go up to 100% at a hotel. And that's what I do because I'm traveling around. And you can go up to 100% at a supercharger, but it takes you a really long time and you have to sit there. Well, at a hotel, it does charge slower, but you're sleeping, and so it works out pretty well. But in my case, I had a really early morning. I got in really late, so there wasn't a whole lot of time that first night to charge, but the second night it got up to 100%, as you saw, and we got that all charged up, and it was good. So anyways, I hope this was a good little lesson for you, or a good little adventure for you, because it was for me. And something else to point out, though, that I just like, a lot of people would think, oh, this is great that Apple, has this thing. You get on here, you plan out your trips, it tells you where to stop and how long. But in planning out your trip, just make sure that it's not 100% that this is what you need to follow, because there was a time on the way back that it was telling me to only charge a little bit in Trinidad and then also do another stop. But I'm like, why would I do that? Because it still can go all the way up to 80%. So if you are within the range of before you get to 80%, then I would just stay there and just charge until it hits 80. So that's what I did, and then I didn't have to have that extra stop. So just make sure you pay attention and don't just follow blindly what Apple or even the truck is telling you to do. Just double check with the PlugShare app. Double check to make sure that it's not going to send you to some slow charger for a little while. And also double check with Electrify America, with Tesla, all of these, like where they are, and just do a little bit of planning yourself. Remember back in the day when you had to use maps, like real maps, paper maps? Yeah, do that kind of, you don't need to break out a map, but plan like you used to with that. It's a lot of fun, actually, just like kind of figuring it all out, and do the math, just like what I did. I knew going from Amarillo all the way to Trinidad, I was a little bit below Amarillo. I knew that if I got at least 1.9, I should make it based on 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, since it's a 131 kilowatt hour battery. So do the math, like according to what's happening on the trip, the weather, the everything. So figure it out. So some people may be thinking, man, I don't want to do that much work. Well, I guess right now that's the way it is with electric vehicles, but I have fun with it, so I can figure out how I can save money. That's why I discovered the thing with the hotels. So you don't just, that's the other point, is you don't just go by what it's saying here. If you're going to get a hotel around the last spot somewhere, then, just you go to the hotel and charge instead of just going to the charging thing, unless you have an early morning like I did. So where you're going to get to the hotel late, and then you have an early morning, so then you're not giving it enough time to charge at the slower charger at the hotel. So anyways, thanks for going on this adventure, and join me on the next video. Y'all are awesome.